Assalamualaikum and hi, this is a group assignment for business law with code HPT20203. We are from group 1 and would like to present our animation regarding classification and various sources of Malaysian law. Our group consists of 4 members, which are Nurul Shazliana binti Rosli, Nurul Izzah Izwani binti C. Asmi, Muhammad Haris Iskandar bin Abdul Muiz, and Muhammad Aizal Afzal bin Abdul Razak.
The law can be classified into 3 parts, which are public law, private law, and international law. Let's start with the first part, which is public law. Public law is the law that governs the relationship between individuals and the state. Public law can be divided into 4, which are constitutional law, criminal law, administrative law, and tax law.
What is the function of constitutional law?
Constitutional law lays down the rights of individuals in the state. It deals with questions such as supremacy of parliaments and the rights of citizens. It also covers areas dealing with the state and federal powers.
Criminal law codifies the various offenses committed by individuals against the state. All crime is a wrong against the state for which punishment is inflicted by the state.
Administrative law governs the administrative process, including rulemaking, adjudication, and enforcement.
Tax law is the law that governs taxation.
Now, let's move on to private law. It is concerned with the area of law that regulates the relationship between individuals. Private law is also known as civil law.
The first one is contract law. It is the laws that govern the formation, performance, and termination of contracts. Contracts can be oral or written, and they can be simple or complex. Next, tort law. It governs civil wrong committed by one individual against another. Torts can be intentional or accidental, and they can result in personal injury, property damage, or death. Some common tort actions include negligence, defamation, invasion of privacy, and product. The third one is property law. It governs the ownership and use of property. Property can be tangible or intangible. Property law includes real estate law, contract law, and tort law. Not to forget the family law. It is the laws that govern marriage, divorce, child custody, and other family matters. Family law is a branch of private law that deal with civil matters. Family law includes divorce law, child custody law, and adoption law.
The last classification of law is international law. It can be divided into 2, which are public international law and private international law. It is a law governs the relationship between state and state. Public international law composed of the law, rules, and principles of general application that deal with the conduct of nation-states and international organizations among themselves, as well as the relationship between nation-state and international organizations with persons. Private international law describes the body of law surroundings which law governs when there is a conflict between citizens of different countries. In common law jurisdiction, it is sometimes known as conflict of law.
Now, we will discuss about source of Malaysian law.
What What is the source of law in Malaysia?
The laws in Malaysia may be categorized into three main groups, which are written, unwritten, and Islamic law.
Can you explain in depth?
Of course, let's start with written law. It is the most important source of law. It refers to the law contained in the federal and state constitution and in a code or a statute. The written law are much influenced by English law as the Malaysian legal system retains many characteristics of the English legal system. There are four, which are federal constitution, state constitution, legislation, and subsidiary legislation. Malaysia is a federation of 13 states with a written constitution, the Federal Constitution, which is the supreme law of the country.
What does the law cover?
The Federal Constitution comprises many articles concerning the religion of the Federation, citizenship, and many other related subjects.
Thank you. What about the state constitution?
It regulates state government and contains provisions derived from 8th schedule of the Federal Constitution.
Interesting. What about legislation?
I happen to open this. Please take a look.
Legislation refers to the laws that are established by the Parliament at federal level and by the state legislative assemblies at the state level. Laws that are enacted by Parliament after 1946 but before 1957 are called ordinances. Those made after 1957 are called acts. Besides that, laws made by state legislative assembly except in Sarawak are called enactment. The laws in Sarawak are called ordinance.
Excellent. The last one is subsidiary legislation, right?
Yes, it is law made under any acts, enactments, or ordinances, and important because it specifies the laws in more detail and for everyday matters.
Thank you for your explanation. Unwritten law is simply that portion of Malaysian law which is not being enacted by Parliament or the state assemblies and which is not found in the written federal and state constitutions. This category of law comes from cases decided by the courts and the local customs, which is otherwise known as common law.
English law is applied in Malaysia is through the common law. Article 160 of the Federal Constitution rules the common law to be applicable in so far as it is in operation in the Federation or any part thereof. Section 3 of the Civil Law Act 1956 further specifies that the common law of England and the rule of equity may be applied. It must be noted that the application of this is only allowed under circumstances where no specific Malaysian law can apply. Therefore, although English law can be applied in Malaysia, it is clear that it does not suppress Malaysian law. It is a mere supplement.
Approaching the judicial decision, judges do not decide arbitrarily. Instead, they are bound to follow certain accepted principles known as precedents. The system of binding judicial precedent is called stare decisis.
Lastly, customary law.
Every race has its own customs. Hindu and Chinese customary law applied to the Hindus and Chinese respectively.
Besides that, natives in Sabah and Sarawak have their own customary law which relate to the land and family matters. In Malaysia, there are two types of adat, which is the adat Perpatih and adat Temenggong.
Adat Perpatih is practiced among the Malays in Negeri Sembilan and Naning in Melaka. As for adat Temenggong, it is practiced in other states.
The last source of Malaysian law is Islamic law. Malaysia has a dual-track legal system comprises of civil courts running in parallel with Sharia courts.
Islamic law applies only to Muslim and covers family matters like marriage and divorce, estate matters like inheritance and wills, and issues of morality.
In Rama Village in 1927, the Court of Appeal held that Islamic law is not foreign law, but local law and the law of the land.
Article 3 of the Federal Constitution states that Islam is the religion of the Federation, but other religions may be practiced in peace and harmony.
That's all from our groups. We hope that this animation helps you to understand this topic better. Thank you for watching.